Hello everybody and welcome to RPG Horror Stories. I'm your host here, and listen, hey, thank you guys for all the love and support. And remember, we're getting close to that 100 sub milestone where I'm gonna read the Old Man Henderson tale, the very thing that started the Henderson scale of plot derailment in all of its 4chan glory. And hey, if you're interested in that and you haven't heard about the Henderson tale, why don't you subscribe? That way you're gonna get a notification when I come out with that video. Hey, you can also hit the bell icon. That's always gonna help no matter what. And hey, leave a like on the video, leave me a comment, leave your own horror stories in the Discord, in the comments, and I'll probably read them. Now, on with the video. DM rage quit because my character survived his death dungeon. So I met a DM over the pandemic, and we had a lot of great games with our group. Also, some weird ones. There are two stories I would like to share. The first is an exercise in why dungeon masters should keep an eye on substance intake while running their sessions. DM was running a long one-off that was on the more difficult side. 4 hours in, we're fighting this guy with a crazy high AC that takes quite a while. The DM is slamming whiskeys and is starting to get noticeably drunk. It turns out once we kill this guy, a demon slinks out of him. Now we've got to fight this thing too. Fine, it's a lot of combat, but it's done well enough. Except at this point, the DM is approaching blackout. He forgets what part of the boss fight we're in and starts saying we haven't killed the AC-25 guy yet. We had to convince him over a long period of time that we had already fought him, and we're now halfway through the second boss. That game ended in a sloppy, sad state where he basically just eventually said, "Sure, you guys kill the bad guy. I gotta go sleep." It was a disappointing end to the game. The second is how he left our group. While I was kinda sad about it, and also confused, after he put together a hard game that I think he assumed we would TPK in, and we actually did quite well, he sent me a message. The message says something like, "I can't challenge you anymore. I don't know. I guess you win D&D." And then he disbanded the Discord server and blocked everyone we played with. Was he mad that I always made resilient characters? Was he mad he didn't get his DM murder rocks off and TPK the party? Was he jealous of how I make my characters? If he wasn't such a wargamer himself, I think he's mad that I create optimizer characters. I don't have any idea. I have no clue as to what happened, but it was super strange and abrupt. And I figured I wanted to share. Humans are strange. Yeah, I think that this is a cut and dry case of the DM trying to TPK you guys and not pulling it off and getting and just rage quitting. And on that first one, absolutely. Please, guys, drink responsibly. I just had my birthday party. I've been stuffed full of booze and food and stuff, and I cooked too, and it was some yum get you some stuff. Just drink responsibly. Know your limit. Try to keep count at the very minimum, because here's the thing: if you end up having to go to the hospital, you're not going to get the right number, and the hospital is going to do this. They're going to take your number, double it, and then run with that. Alright? Now, on to the next story. The 40-year-old horror story that backfired spectacularly. Hi y'all, here's the awful tale of my very first Dungeons & Dragons session. The kind that can sour a TTRPG newbie for life, and too often does. But in my case, it blew up in that guy's face. August 1980, AD&D, first edition. You know, the age of Gygaxian dinosaurs. Drop by my friend's place that fateful afternoon. See a couple of tiny handful of nerd friends at the kitchen table, a pile of strange hardcover books and random folders scattered about, and dice. Lots and lots of dice. They are dice, right? Screwy looking things. So Pete, the DM, gives me the Cliff Notes version of what D&D is, and since they have a spare minute, Pete agrees to help me draw up a bare bones fighter to get a feel for the game. Fred pulls a pre-rolled thief out of a folder, so I'm not going in alone. Pete is winging a quick and dirty demo dungeon for me, but it's clear I'm already hooked. God, this is so cool, I'm thinking to myself. We open one door, and we're face to slime with a gelatinous cube. We're level 1. I have no effing clue what I'm looking at, but Fred does. And in classic that guy fashion, okay, so he's butter too. He shoves me inside and slams the door behind me. In retrospect, Pete was obviously pulling punches, and I managed to stagger out with 1 or 2 HP left. There's a door on the opposite side of the room, and there's Fred, who glibly gave me a spiel. I was just coming around the back door so he could surround it. Yeah, right, jerk. And pray tell me how you knew how to find it in an unmapped dungeon. But here's where the backfire comes into play. I set aside my irritation and focused on how much fun the game itself was. I came back. Within a year, I was the DM. 2 years after that, I started my first real campaign, the first of 18 over the next 4 decades, 2 states and 5 gaming groups. Sorry, Fred. You're not getting rid of me that easily. Okay, wait. So first off, that guy power level 2. But that's not really important here. We're not really playing Butter Me Up. It's not much of a that guy story. What's important here is that our OP literally got face to face with a gelatinous cube at level 1, managed to get out with like 1 or 2 HP because Pete is an asshole, and he comes back and outdoes Pete. What a fucking introduction! And our last post of the day. We find your lack of ERP disturbing. I joined a Roll20 game. The Dungeon Master said that he runs multiple games off the same group, which explains the 40 or so odd people in the group. Game day comes after a week or so. There's 14 players in Discord. Some with mics, some not, some with echoes so bad the DM manually mutes them until it's their turn. 1 hour into the game later, we finally get past introductions. When I bring up the time, he says, "Oh, don't worry, it's slotted for 7 hours." Wait, what the fuck? I stuck around just to see the moving train crash, only to be told I'm not fitting in. 30 minutes later by one of the players, because I refused to ERP in the Discord server. Got voted off like a survivor. The DM abstained from the vote, and the DM sent me a message saying sorry and asked if I wanted to join one of his other games. What? Why did he not advertise this as an ERP game? If it's an ERP game, you need to advertise that it is an ERP game. Otherwise, you're going to get tons of non-ERP players. I mean, like, I suppose it's alright, because, you know, at the end of the day, this has to be the reason why we've got so few that guy stories recently that are, like, super powerful. This guy has to be, like, sucking up all of that miasma of that guy and just concentrating the energy into one crowd of fucking virulent neckbeard energy. So, hey, don't worry about it, OP. You fucking dodged a bullet there. Alright, that's all we've got for today. Much love, stay sexy, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye!